Hello and welcome back to another True Sea Moss live stream in the kitchen. I'm Katie and today we are kicking off one of my favorite things about the season. All of that healthy fall baking. I'm going to make it healthy though, all right? Many times the fall baking is not so healthy, but hold on, sorry. There we go. I had to check my audio. So the neat thing about fall baking is it's got all of those amazing comfort foods. And here's the thing, it's not always healthy, right? It's just not. The comfort food is just not something that is typically known to be healthy, but that's what we are here to do. One of my favorite things to do is take super family favorite sweet treats or fall comfort food, anything that is just savory or sweet. I love to make the swap into a healthier recipe. So I take all of the yucky, non-clean, sometimes toxic ingredients and we swap them out and we make a healthified version. And let me tell you, I don't do food that doesn't taste like it's supposed to taste, okay? So don't worry, I'm not one of those like, okay, we're going to make this banana apple cinnamon muffin and you're thinking, okay, it's gonna be delicious, and then you make it yourself and you're like, what in the world? No, that's not, I don't do things like that. I work with real ingredients that your body can recognize, but very simplified. So I don't do difficult in the kitchen. I'm all about simple and efficient and healthy. That's it. You know, the neat thing is you don't have to do difficult in order to make it healthy. It's really simple. If anything, we overcomplicate it because of the overprocessed foods that are plentiful around us, and we just feel like it has to taste a certain way and you got to use these yucky ingredients to get it to taste good. That's not it. It's I promise, friends, it is worth it. Make those swaps, even if it's one ingredient at a time. Your body will thank you. The health of your family will start thanking you. Prioritize your health and your family's health, and I promise you it'll be one of the best decisions that you've ever made. So today we are baking up some apple cinnamon banana muffins with the most incredible ingredient, True Sea Moss, apple cinnamon gel. All right, these are going to be soft, sweet, not overly sweet though, really cozy. It's going to taste like fall, and they're actually good for you. All right, so if you love warm muffins that smell like apples and cinnamon and bananas all had a baby, then stick with me because we're going to make those first thing this morning. We're going to start our day with clean energy. You know, we want our food to work for our body, not against it, right? So grab your coffee, grab your favorite tea, your favorite drink, and you can grab a pen and paper if you like, although I definitely have the recipe card ready to pop up on the screen so you guys can grab a screenshot of it. So I want to talk just a little bit about, before we get started, how these ingredients can truly fuel your wellness this fall, and then we're going to jump right in. But where's everyone watching from today? Let me know in the chat box. I'm going to try to get a little more focused into the chat so that I don't miss anything. Friends, it is, hold on, I've got some technical things going on right now. All right, I think I'm good. There we go. But I can't see my chat. That's all right. We're just going to roll with it. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. So where's everybody joining me from today? We are about 15 minutes off the coast of North Carolina. So are you close to the beach, or are you more like in the mountains? I love the mountains of North Carolina. If I was in the mountains of North Carolina, I would be baking fall recipes all year round. But we are very close to the beach. So I am always extremely excited when the cooler temperatures hit. That is just, I'm all about that. So let me know in the chat. I want to see where everyone, where all my fall bakers are tuning in from, okay? And we're going to go ahead and get started. And then we're going to talk a little bit about why this recipe is more than just a breakfast treat. It's actually functional food. It's actually nutrient dense, and it's going to work with your body and for your body, not against it. And really, every single ingredient has a purpose, okay? So let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm going to go ahead and switch to a different camera scene so that you guys can see me doing all the ingredients close up. All right, so this is the MVP, my friends. This is the star of the show. This is the apple cinnamon flavored True Sea Moss gel. Oh my gosh, it is next level amazing. If I'm honest, this is actually my all-time favorite flavor of the entire lineup. Love the pumpkin, love the mango pineapple, love the strawberry. I could rattle off 10 of them that are probably my favorites, but this is number one. And I mean, once you taste it, you're going to realize it's incredible. It is perfectly pureed apple and cinnamon together, like the exact combination that everybody wants to taste. If anything, I feel like it tastes super close to apple cinnamon applesauce. So really, you can't go wrong, right? All right, what we're going to do, I'm going to crack that open, let you see the texture of the gel a little bit, and just bear with me, my camera is struggling a little bit to focus. But this is actually, I just cracked it open. It was room temperature, all right? So when it is in the refrigerator, it will become firmer and a little thicker, but as you can see now, it's very pourable because it's room temperature. So I'm going to put that off to the side. The first thing that we are going to do, my friends, is take our bananas and we are going to mash up our bananas. So I get it. I'm supposed to be using like really, really, really ripe bananas, right? I get it. Well, my grocery store had no ripe bananas. So I was like, are you kidding me? Really? So there's one, but that's okay. We're going to work with what we got. Because again, I don't do finicky and difficult in the kitchen. I'm just going to work with what I got. And these are definitely ripe enough. But I know that it is best to use those really, really ripe bananas that have all like the brown speckles and stuff on them. Plus, did you know that the more ripe they get, granted, the sweeter they get and the more the higher on the glycemic index they get because of the sugar, but they also are loaded with antioxidants, and the antioxidants increase as the banana ripens. So we've got our bananas in. We are going to mash those up. I have, by the way, preheated my oven to 375. No, I'm sorry, 350. Wait, let me just verify that. Yes, I'm on 350. Good deal. All right, so we're going to just mash up our bananas here. This is not a super easy process to do, but because as you can see, they kind of slide around. And where the banana is not super, super ripe, it's a little bit more firm, but that's okay. No big deal. Well, and it's just going to slide all over the place. Here, let me do this. I'm going to actually get out my little chopping block, little tiny mini. Let me swap this out so I actually like scoop it out and mash it up a little better. And then we'll go ahead and put it back in the bowl. There we go. That's working a lot easier. All right, so we're just mashing up our two bananas. I love bananas. Don't you love bananas? Bananas are super, super high in potassium. They're great for just natural energy, my friends. They're really also great for digestion and for gut health. And that natural sweetness is going to do exactly what we want it to do without adding a ton of sugar. Although we are going to add just the tiniest bit of date sugar, and I'll explain why I'm going to use date sugar here in just a bit. All right, let me go ahead and mash up the rest. And I'm doing this on my little cutting board because it's a whole lot easier that way. It was sliding around like crazy in my glass bowl. All right. So we at True Sea Moss feel like everybody needs to incorporate sea moss as often as possible into their recipes. You can add them into baking recipes. You can add them into any kind of sweet or savory recipes. I actually just made my very good friend a white bean chicken chili soup last night that I've made many times, and I absolutely, as I serve it in each bowl, I plop in, let me show you real quick, the Wild Crafted sea moss gel, which is unflavored, so it doesn't change the taste of the recipe, because you don't want to use, like, for instance, apple cinnamon flavored in a chicken chili recipe, right? So the Wild Crafted is where it's at. I use this way more than I ever thought I would. It's fantastic as a natural thickener. Not to mention, you boost that entire recipe with those 92 minerals. So she recently had some surgery, and you know, she needs all the minerals she can get, so I made her that soup. All right, so we've got our 2 mashed bananas. Now we are going to go in with 1 apple. This is my favorite kind of apple. It's a Honeycrisp, and we are going to either finely dice the apple or we're going to grate it. Now, my friends, this is a little bit of a tip. My new favorite thing, I'm going to switch out here, is to grate an apple, okay? First of all, when I make my biscuits, I always grate the butter. It's like life-changing versus sit there and chop and cube up butter. That is not fun to do. If you are making anything that requires a chopped apple, it is fantastic to grate it. I use the larger holes, and just be careful. You don't want to like be slicing your finger off. So what you're going to do is you're going to grate it until you feel a little bit resistance, and then that's going to tell you that you've hit the core of the apple. See, I'm almost there. Okay, see, it kind of stops me, and there we go. So then we just switch over. So we're going to do it in quarters, basically. And I leave the peeling on. I love the fiber and the antioxidants and the additional minerals that are in the peeling. Plus, it just gives the muffins a really delicious texture as well. So we give it a turn, almost done. You're grating until you just feel a little bit of resistance, and then you know you're at that core. And then we just be very, very careful on that last turn. That just looks like fall on a plate, right? Okay. So let me get my grater here out of the way. So we've got our 1 unpeeled apple grated. If anybody has any questions, by the way, please feel free to ask. Let me know. I'm here to help in any way that I can. Okay, my friends, here we go. So we've got our mashed banana. I'm going to go ahead and add in my 1 unpeeled grated, or you can absolutely dice it up really, really small. Make sure to make it really small though. So we're going to blend that just a tiny bit. Then we're going to add in our 1 cup of rolled oats. All right, before we do that, I want to show you what I use, because again, this is all about clean ingredients, yes? So these are the oats that I use. The reason that I love this brand is because they put loud and proud right here, glyphosate free. They actually test for glyphosate. All right, these are gluten free. They are sprouted. So this is healthy on a whole nother level. All right, 1 Degree Organic Foods, love this brand. They have many, many items, but we definitely love their oats. As you can see, I buy them in a very, very large bag. My husband eats oats every single morning for breakfast. Oats are just incredibly heart healthy. They're whole grain. Here's the thing though. You want to make sure that your oats are organic. Oats are one of the heaviest sprayed by glyphosate, pest spray, Roundup weed killer, which is what glyphosate is. Oats are one of the heaviest sprayed food out there, or crop. All right, so we want to definitely make sure that we are using glyphosate free and organic. All right, so if you buy organic, that should automatically tell you that it has not been sprayed with glyphosate. The non-GMO thing, that is honestly very much a marketing ploy. That people think they're buying healthy because they're buying non-GMO, and they're not. It's still sprayed with glyphosate most of the time. All right, my friends, so next up we are going to do 1 cup of rolled oats. So I've got my cup of oats here. So you could absolutely grind these up in like a food processor and make oat flour. You don't have to buy separate oat flour. Why do that? When you have oats, you can just grind them up. I personally like the texture of the rolled oats without being made into flour. So I'm going to keep it like that, but you could definitely switch it up if you'd like. So put that in. We've got our 2 mashed bananas. We've got our 1 unpeeled grated apple, and then we just went in with our 1 cup of rolled oats. Give it just a little combine, and then we're going to go in with our 2 eggs. All right, crack those. There's 1. There's 2. All right, give that just a little bit of a whirl. like to get the eggs nice and combined before I put in the cinnamon, the salt, and the vanilla, and then the sea moss gel. We're going to fold that in. All right. Yes. Okay, now the next thing we are going to do is we're going to put in the baking powder, the cinnamon, the salt, and the star of the show, which is the True Sea Moss Apple Cinnamon Gel. All right, let's go ahead and start with our salt. I just use Maldon flake salt. You can use any kind of salt. Salt is life. I love me some salt. Know what's best for your body, but salt is good for me. Okay, so I'm going to take wait, where's my salt amount? Oh, I'm sorry, just a pinch of salt. Pinch of sea salt. That's probably, I like to do maybe a tiny bit more because salt brings out the flavor in just about anything and everything, especially the sweetness. Then we're going to go in with 1 tablespoon of date sugar. Here is another tip, all right? This date sugar, one, it's organic, all right? No added sugar, obviously. The date sugar is the sugar. It's vegan, it's GMO-free, it's kosher, and it's gluten-free. Really important that it's organic, okay? So the neat thing about date sugar, my friends, is that it has been known to lower the glycemic index in the recipe that you are including it in, okay? It does not give you that same crazy insulin response and blood sugar spike as regular sugar. So this is a fantastic sugar substitute, and it is delicious. It's made completely from organic dates, okay? It's ground up dried dates. It's unrefined. It is super convenient, and it's the most amazing substitute. Really, you can use it. You could, if you wanted to kind of transition your family, you could do half sugar and half date sugar. And then that's what I did, and I kind of slowly weaned them away. It's just a delicious sweetener. And I love it because it doesn't give you that spike in your blood sugar, so you don't get that crazy insulin response. But what we're going to do is go in with 1 tablespoon. Now, you could definitely sub this out for honey. You could do maple syrup. You could do regular cane sugar if you'd like. You could do coconut sugar. The possibilities are endless. I just very much am kind of obsessed with this right now. It's fantastic. You could also use allulose. Allulose is actually made from dates as well. All right, so we put in our sugar, we put in our salt. I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Please make sure that it is pure. Otherwise, it is fake vanilla, flavored vanilla, and we don't want that. So we're going to do 1 teaspoon of that. Okie dokie. Now we are going to go in with 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Got my baking powder right here. All right. Then we are going to go in with 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. This is optional, but I like the extra rise. So there's our 1/2 teaspoon of, there we go. All right, now we have got, let's see, what am I missing here? All right, now all we have to do, my friends, is add the cinnamon and the apple cinnamon, okay? Let me, here we go. I'm going to get the cinnamon ready. So the cinnamon you add is really just based on your taste preferences. I personally love a lot of cinnamon. Cinnamon one of my favorite things. So the recipe calls for 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. I like to bump that up just a tiny bit and do like a heaping 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, okay? So that's just how I roll. I love cinnamon, so I'm going to add in just a tiny bit more. You know, the neat thing about this recipe is you could also customize it. You could put in a little bit of chocolate chips. You could put in some walnuts. You could make it your own. All right, so we've got in everything that we need. I'm going to combine that gently, and then we are going to add in our delicious apple cinnamon sea moss gel. All right. Give that just a little bit of a stir, just a gentle fold. All right, last thing we do is go in with our apple cinnamon gel. All right, you guys, this stuff adds the most incredible texture and moisture to any baking recipe. I have kind of become obsessed with it. So here is the texture up close. As you can see, it's very pourable right now because it's straight, off of the counter. I hadn't opened it yet. So once I put it in the refrigerator, it's going to become a little more firm. So I'm going to go in with 1 heaping tablespoon of the apple cinnamon gel. This is just going to amp up that apple cinnamon delicious flavor. You will not be sorry. All right, my friends, let me put the lid back on. We are going to give this a gentle fold, and then we're going to fill our little muffin cups. All right, we're just folding in the sea moss gel. You don't have to worry about making it super, combined and stirred. We're just kind of gently folding it over just to make sure every muffin is going to have the goodness of that apple cinnamon gel, those 92 minerals. So, this is just a really neat way for you to incorporate the goodness of sea moss into your family's daily routine, their daily diet. And you can make this as sweet as you want it. You can make it even healthier by probably adding in some, you would decrease the oats a little bit and you would add in some protein powder. That would be a fantastic morning boost of not only nutrition and minerals, but also a big dose of protein. So, all right, next thing we are going to do, so let me switch back really quick to a different scene because I do want to share with you a little idea that I had. So I have my little muffin tin here. This is what I'm going to make the muffins in, but this is another idea. If your kids love donuts, you can get yourself a little, let me come over here where I'm closer. You can get yourself a little donut. This is a silicone donut mold. They pop in and out. I've used this many times. I make a protein cinnamon sugar donut. It's amazing. All clean ingredients. So you most definitely could take this muffin recipe and fill it and make donuts and then do like a little, almost like a cream cheese drizzle on top or a vanilla icing, like a true vanilla icing donut. You could dip the top in it. That would be amazing, and your kids would love it. Put a little bit of sprinkles on top, dye-free sprinkles, but that's an option. So you could definitely do the donuts, but today we are going to do the muffins. All right, I have my silicone muffin tray. I love these little parchment paper. They're super cheap. It just makes cleanup really easy. Actually, there is no cleanup because you just lift the muffin right out of the parchment sheet. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and fill that. If you're just joining us, welcome. Super glad that you are here. We are turning one of your favorite fall baking recipes, which is a banana apple cinnamon muffin. We are healthifying it completely. We are infusing it with the goodness of sea moss. And no, you're never ever going to know or be able to tell that sea moss is in the recipe. I promise I've done this a gazillion times and nobody ever knows that there's sea moss in my recipes. So it's our secret, right? Although it's not a secret anymore when it lives on the internet. All right, so here's another fun tip. You can take an ice cream scooper or a cookie scooper and you can plop that right in. It just makes, for less of a mess, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and switch my scene again here so you all can see close up what I'm doing. And of course you have the option to grab a screenshot, absolutely, as we are working. All right, let me scoot this back a little. There we go. So all I'm going to do is take my little cookie scooper. All right, I'm going to scoop up and then I'm going to just plop in, okay? There we go. We'll start out by doing one level scoop and then we can always add more if needed. This recipe is supposed to make right at 12 muffins, but depending upon the size of your banana, sometimes it makes a little more, sometimes it makes a little less. So I try to play it safe and just do one scoop to begin with, and then we can always add in if we have extra. What's neat about this is these are so grab and go. Okay, you could make a big batch of these. You could freeze it. These are good for a few days, kept in the refrigerator. And this is great for your family to just grab and go. We are typically not huge breakfast eaters. We eat something small. My kids are homeschooled, so they always grab, you know, a piece of sourdough toast or something kind of light for breakfast, and this would be perfect. All right, so as you can see, we have a little bit more left over, so I'm going to go in and just add, just like top off a few of them, just to make sure that we get all of that goodness divided out. Uh-oh, I just spilt. There we go. Get all of that scraped down. I don't want to miss any of it. I don't like wasting food in any way. All right, there we go. So now, my friends, let me clean up my mess here. I dropped some oats. That's okay. Okay. How cute are those, right? So I'm going to give it a little shake just to kind of make everything dance around a little bit, and then get seated in those little muffin cups really well. And we're going to put them in the oven, and that's it. How easy was that? I mean, I knocked that out in like 15 minutes, my friends. So right now, just to recap the ingredients, you've got 2 ripe bananas. You've got mashed up, of course, 1 medium apple that has been grated. You've got 1 cup of rolled oats, or you could use oat flour. You've got 2 eggs. You've got 1 tablespoon of true sea moss apple cinnamon gel. You've got 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. You've also got 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, and then I did 1 tablespoon of date sugar and a little pinch of salt. That's it. We're going to go ahead and put those in the oven. Let me go ahead and switch my scene back for you guys, and then we will get to baking. All right, so we are going to bake these for 18 to 20 minutes, and that should be perfect because right about the time that I am ending the live stream is when I'm going to be pulling these little beauties out of the oven. So there we go. I'm going to set my timer. Does anybody else out there have to set a timer on the oven? My mom and my sisters don't, and I'm fascinated by that. I would burn anything and everything in my oven. Okay, so about 18 minutes, and then I'm going to check it. This is a new-ish oven, and it tends to bake really hot and really quick. So I'll check it at 18 minutes, and then we will adjust and add in just a few minutes if needed, because you're going to bake it at 350 for about 18 to 20 minutes. Here is something that I want you to know about baking or cooking with sea moss. What you don't want to do is expose the sea moss gel to very high temperatures for prolonged periods of time. So for instance, there's a couple, was it last week, I believe I did a live stream on YouTube where we made a delicious and healthy and protein-packed waffle, and then we did a berry compote. So what I don't want you to do is put the strawberry sea moss gel on the stovetop while the berry compote is boiling and simmering. That is going to expose those minerals to a too high temperature for too long of a time. All right, so it goes in and tries to kind of negate the mineral potency. So just, you know, this is baked at 350. It's low and slow. And you can always, of course, if you do a little bit of icing drizzle, you could always infuse it with any flavor of sea moss gel, or even go for the wild crafted. But as those bake up, I do want to mention some of the ingredients and why it's super, super important that you pay attention to ingredients, all right? And we discussed a little bit about the banana. Bananas are very, very high in potassium, which is, you know, good for so many things. Gives you natural energy. It's really incredible for your gut digestion, your gut health in general. And then it has that natural sweetness. So we can kind of cut back on any of the sugar amount, right? Bananas also help to balance your mood and help to support your muscle recovery. You know, you've heard that saying, if you have leg cramps, people say eat a banana. It's because of the potassium. So then apples are actually loaded with antioxidants, especially if you leave the skin on, which we definitely have. They've got antioxidants and quite a bit of fiber too. So they definitely go in and try to help regulate your blood sugar and your digestion. So it gives that sweet, tart flavor that kind of makes every bite pop. And then when you add in that cinnamon, cinnamon helps to actually stabilize your blood sugar, all right? But it's also a natural anti-inflammatory. So it boosts circulation and it boosts brain function as well. This dose of cinnamon is going to bring that cozy warmth that really makes every fall recipe feel just comforting and like it's your favorite comfort muffin, right? But then you add in that amazing sea moss apple cinnamon gel. That's when we level it up, all right? This stuff is infused with real apple puree and organic cinnamon. So the apple cinnamon gel contains 92 essential minerals that nourish your cells, that boost your energy, but naturally, all right? So no caffeine crash. You don't have that jolt of energy like you do when you drink too much coffee or when you knock back too many espressos. You get the natural, clean, sustained energy that really everyone wants, and I've experienced that in a pretty dramatic way. I've been on sea moss for 10 months now, and I will 100% never go back. I will never not take this stuff. It's done too many things for my overall health. So this stuff is so incredible at supporting your digestion. It supports that glowing, hydrated skin. It most definitely supports your immune system. It provides such an incredible resilience to your immune system. It strengthens the microbiome within your gut. And because of the smooth texture and the natural sweetness, because friends, none of these true sea moss gels have added sugar. And that's a really important thing. You know, I'm the customer, I'm the consumer. I want to know what you're putting in my product. If it's a health supplement, why are you loading it down with sugar? We don't do that. There's no added sugar, zero. There is, I think, max, depending upon the flavor you choose, max of 2 grams of natural sugar. Never any added sugar in the gels. So, and it doesn't need it, okay? It's got a little bit of monk fruit puree to add that extra sweetness. It is delicious by itself because apples are delicious, cinnamon is delicious. Add a tiny bit of that monk fruit, you've got like the perfect blend, right? But it adds that perfect texture, moisture, and sweetness to baked goods. You're gonna love it. So again, while those muffins are baking, we're actually going to be feeding our bodies that, everything that it needs for better energy, for better focus, and for better balance. But it's going to be the true sea moss way, right? So who has tried, let me know in the chat box, who out there has tried the apple cinnamon gel yet? Is there anyone out there that has tried it? It's like fall in a jar, right? I absolutely love it. So give me an apple emoji or a thumbs up if you have tried that flavor and if you love it, because I'm almost guaranteeing that you're going to love it. All right, so we've mixed everything together. We've put in our ripe bananas. We've put in our organic true sea moss apple cinnamon flavored gel. We've put in our gluten-free oats that are super heart healthy. We've done the baking powder, the baking soda, we've done the cinnamon, we've done the date sugar. You could also add in a little butter or coconut oil to thin it out. We've done 2 eggs and then a pinch of salt, all right? So I do want to talk about why sea moss why it's so good for your body and what it actually does physiologically, okay? Because when I say it's nutrition that you can feel, I really mean it, my friends. So our muffins have about 12 more minutes to go. Perfect. Okay. You guys, these muffins are so fun to you could, if you're traveling, you could make a batch of them and, it's not like they have to be warmed up to be delicious. They are easy to grab and go, which anyone with kids, especially like high schooler, middle schoolers, things like that, you need easy and you need simplified, right? And that is a fantastic way to get a little bit of goodness and fuel in their body as they're running out the door. And then with the sea moss in there, all right, and the muffins are infused with sea moss, which you don't have to tell anybody. That definitely provides your family's body with nutrition, but on a cellular level. It's actually cellular fuel. So it's minerals like iodine, like magnesium, potassium, all of those minerals, they help your metabolism work properly. So it gives you that all-day energy, but without the caffeine. So you don't have to worry about the crash. Plus, it really helps to support your thyroid health, which honestly is key for keeping your metabolism balanced and that energy super steady throughout the day. I mean, I have really energy to burn at times. I'm not trying to act like that, it's a magic bullet or a sea moss is some kind of magic energy pill. That's not reality. But here's what is reality. When you provide your body with the minerals, the antioxidants, and the vitamins, most importantly, those minerals. When you give your body those minerals every single day, the 92 of them that are within sea moss and 2 tablespoons, that's when your body just starts to do its job efficiently. It runs optimally, it runs effectively, and it does exactly what it's supposed to do without you having to pump it full of caffeine and extra sugar. I don't like that feeling when you start out the day great and then you quickly, like, especially if you've had a heavy meal, a heavy breakfast meal especially, it makes me feel like I want to lay down and take a nap by 11 o'clock. I do not like that feeling. I got too many things to do during the day, right? So I want clean, sustained energy. So tell me in the chat, if in the mornings, are you team sweet for breakfast or are you team savory? Do you like muffins and waffles and, sweet breads, or are you more like bacon and eggs and sausage and biscuit kind of person? I could go either way, to be honest with you. I probably am more like, just for taste, I'm more bacon and eggs and sausage and muffin kind of, or biscuit kind of girl. But I really love sweet in the morning too. So I really could do, in fact, here's the best of both worlds. I love a savory breakfast with the muffin on the side, if I'm being really honest, okay? So, and granted, very rarely do I eat a large meal like that in the morning. But, the neat thing is, even if you eat a large meal like that and it's completely clean ingredients, you would be amazed at how your body responds. So you don't have that really sluggish, like, okay, I need to lay down and take a nap kind of feeling. You truly get clean, sustained energy. When you eat foods with refined bleached flour, when you eat foods that are heavy with oils, inflammatory oils, your body responds immediately. It starts to fight against those ingredients. So no wonder you walk around for the rest of the day chronically fatigued. You're depleting your resources, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. But we've got about 9 more minutes, and while those muffins are baking, the kitchen is starting to smell really delicious. So I do want to talk about just a little bit about why sea moss is one of the best things that you can add to your fall routine. Here's a few top benefits. So especially with the apple cinnamon flavored gel. Let me go ahead. I will give you a close-up. Let me grab a spoon. I'll give you a close-up of the gel and show you the texture. And then I'm actually going to take a spoonful myself because I have not had my sea moss yet. Let me move some stuff out of the way here. I've got all the things sitting in front of me. All right, here's a close-up. Hopefully my camera will focus well enough. All right, you guys, this is some delicious stuff. I could for real, like, eat that out of the jar by the spoonful. Every time because I have all the gels, of course, all the flavors, and I'll go back and forth. But every time I go back to this, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's truly my favorite without a doubt. So when it comes to the apple cinnamon, you cannot go wrong, all right? You're gonna get that natural energy boost. You're gonna get those minerals that help to produce that clean and really stable, long-lasting, efficient energy. Then you're gonna get that gut support. So this stuff has probiotics in it that actually feed the good bacteria within your gut. Those probiotics are actually called polysaccharides. No, let me rephrase that. So sea moss contains, it is a non-digestible complex carbohydrate called polysaccharides. Polysaccharides go in, they work like prebiotics. They go in and they feed the good bacteria within your gut. So the more good bacteria you have in your gut, the less bad bacteria. So the bad bacteria starts to decrease as the good bacteria fights against that bad bacteria, right? And that's what we all need in our gut, is a healthier, good bacteria-filled gut. That also builds the resilience of your gut microbiome. And then when your gut microbiome is strong and healthy, that's when your immune system starts to not overreact. Everybody thinks you want a really overactive immune system, and that's not what you want. That's where you get that super exaggerated histamine response. The smallest little bit of allergy in the air or allergen in the air will immediately trigger these super overreactive, exaggerated histamine responses. And that's when we get those sinus infections and the itchy eyes, and our whole face like swells up. The neat thing is when you start to calm down the chronic inflammation throughout your body, and it really truly, my friends, starts in the gut, that's when everything starts to change and your immune system really starts to only defend against things that it needs to defend against. It is very innately intelligent, our immune system, our entire body. So it knows what to do. You just have to provide it the minerals that it needs every day to run efficiently, and then it's amazing what happens. But that immune defense, the strengthened immune system, is of course perfect for cold weather season. You're creeping up in that time of cold and flu season, seasonal changes, all that stuff. In the past, my allergies they went haywire when the season started to change, and I was miserable. It doesn't happen anymore. And in 10 months, I promise you, I've not had a sinus infection. I've had zero issues. I'm not trying to say I haven't ever coughed or sneezed or, had a little, in fact, no, I don't have a runny nose. I haven't in 10 months. But I'm telling you, every time that I start to feel just the tiniest bit of how you wake up with a sinus headache and you're like, oh no, I take my sea moss like I do every morning. I'll take a homeopathic, I think it's Genexa, and I'll do a little bit of a beekeeper's nose spray that has bee pollen in it. And I mean, I'm good to go. It does not linger even for beyond an hour or so. And so the recovery time of any kind of external invader when it comes against your immune system, it's remarkable how much this stuff helps fight off just about anything and everything. So also when it comes to skin hydration, you're going to get that hydrated skin look, that glowy look, all right? You know how when people say, you just look good? Well, that's fantastic, but it's probably not due to anything that you've applied externally and topically. It has to do with what's going on in the inside, okay? So what we eat is what we feel like, right? And also what we eat shows up on the outside without a doubt. But this stuff also provides such incredible hydration that it also boosts your collagen response, your collagen support, but from within. And I don't know about you guys, but at 46, I would take all the additional collagen support and development that you will give me, right? So also, 3 more minutes for our muffins, and then I'm going to check them. So also we have some pretty incredible thyroid support. I'm going to go ahead and grab a toothpick so I can be ready. Where are my toothpicks? So I can be ready to test them. The thyroid is incredibly important for our overall health, but specifically our metabolism, right? So sea moss is one of the most iodine-rich natural substances on the planet, all right? So I am fascinated at the function of the thyroid. I think it's incredible, but it's also really important that we supply it with minerals and iodine. So I've learned the importance of that for sure. And sea moss basically gives my thyroid everything that it needs. Now, if you have an underlying health condition or if you have an under or overactive thyroid, of course, I'm sure you're already seeing a physician about that and you need to get clearance anytime that you add any kind of new health supplement to your routine, especially one that is so incredibly rich in iodine. So of course, just that's a safe practice to keep. But my friends, these are almost about to come out of the oven. 2 more minutes. I'm super excited. Yep, delicious. So you're not just eating a muffin though, okay? You're actually, you're fueling your body with wellness. And you've got a wellness powerhouse in one little muffin, okay? That's the difference when you bake with purpose. Your food starts to become your fuel. And really, when it's delicious, who in the world needs junk? Who in the world needs those processed breakfast bites and the processed breakfast burrito thing? I don't even know what. This grosses me out in the the grocery store. I mean, they've got a plethora of options for, in the breakfast freezer aisle, all the junky cereals, the frozen breakfasts, it's a hot mess. And you think you're fueling your body in the morning, Okay, well, it has eggs in it and it has sausage in my breakfast burrito, but it's also full of toxic laden, chemical laden ingredients that your body, no, it's thinking, oh my gosh, please just give me regular eggs and regular turkey sausage and some minerals in the morning. That's all I need. I need protein and minerals in the morning. But typically those processed foods, they're full of nothing but garbage. So we want to replace that, and it's not hard. I mean, I just whipped those banana apple cinnamon oat muffins up in like 10 minutes. Next time I make them, I'm absolutely going to add in some of my favorite vanilla protein powder, just to give it that extra protein boost. So has anyone out there replaced breakfast pastries with something cleaner like this? If so, let me know. All right, I'm going to give them a check really quick. Make sure that they are done. You want to be able to insert a toothpick in the center, and you want it to come out clean. And then, unfortunately, I'm going to have to wait a little bit till it cools off because they continue to bake for about 5 minutes after you take them out. All right, let's see here. Putting my toothpick in. They're perfect. Okay, so I baked these for exactly 18 minutes. But this is, I've got it in my upper oven and it's small, so the heat is really intensified. So I would definitely start at 18 minutes and then you can check them. Because I'm sure, as they say, everybody's oven cooks a little different. I'm going to grab my, my little, what are they called? Trivets, so that I can put these on the counter for you guys to see. Make sure I don't burn my counter in the process. We just made a super healthy breakfast. We replaced the artificial junky ingredients with all healthy swaps, okay? You're not going to believe how much better you feel when you start your day with clean ingredients, with fuel for your body, with ingredients that work with your body, not against them. You like my big hands? Let me take those off really quick. All right, let me go ahead and switch my scene really quick, and I'm going to give you another close-up shot, and then of course I want you to be able to get that screenshot of the recipe. So here we go. This is some delicious banana oat apple cinnamon muffins that you are going to love, your family is going to love. They are next level delicious and they are highly nutritious. They are nutrient dense, my friends. And I mean, I wish, oh gosh, don't I wish I could eat one right now. Let me see if it might be too hot. I'm definitely not going to try to eat one, but I was trying to show you all the inside. I'm telling you, this is the ultimate grab and go breakfast. And then these little parchment paper lined muffin thingies, you can grab them and stick them in a lunchbox. You can put one in your car in the cup holder and you're ready to go. Excuse me. All right, let me go ahead and switch back really quick. We're going to talk just a few more minutes and then I have to wrap it up. So I asked right before I took them out of the oven, has anyone out there replaced breakfast pastries with something a lot cleaner? You won't believe how much better it feels, okay? When you start your day with real nutrients, all right? So just very quickly, I want to chat about fall wellness while these cool down just a bit. This time of year, we need more minerals, right? We need more antioxidants. We need those grounding foods. So the drop in the temperatures and the shorter days, less sunlight, those heavier meals that we all love during fall, those fall comfort meals, it just starts to really throw off our energy. And that is where True Sea Moss comes in, and it steps in and helps your body balance itself. So the apple cinnamon gel is amazing in so many ways, but not just in the muffins. All right, you could try it in your overnight oats. It's delicious in oatmeal, amazing. Just make sure and add it in. I mean, we cook our oats on the stove versus the microwave. So once it's removed from the heat, then we add in the tablespoon of apple cinnamon gel. You could definitely put it in warm tea. I've made sea moss tea many, many times. You could definitely pop it in a bowl of yogurt with some granola. That would be amazing. I'm telling you, the depth of flavor that this stuff adds is truly amazing. It's kind of like a health boost all in one, and you're not going to be sorry. So, what are your favorite fall breakfasts? Okay. I might steal, or I should say healthy breakfast. I might steal a few ideas from all my friends out there. And especially, I'd like some ideas on what you guys would like to see on our next live. So if you're watching this on the playback, you can still put in the comments. What are some of your favorite fall recipes that you would love to see me swap out the nasty ingredients, make them super healthy, but still taste delicious and amazing and like they should? And then, of course, all of these recipes, I definitely show you how to infuse them with the goodness of sea moss, okay? So these are going to be so good, you guys. The bananas, I'm going to see, I'm going to take a bite of a hot one. I can't help it. Let me get a fork. So the bananas, I love anything with a banana because it really gives you that like delicious sweet. I love sweet. I'm not afraid to admit it. I absolutely love sweet. All right, let me see. Make sure you guys can see what I'm doing here. Oh, yum. Okay, it's still very hot, so I got to do this carefully. Yep. So good, you guys. Delicious. Definitely not over sweet. It's like the perfect sweetness. The bananas give it that perfect sweetness, and then that little tiny bit of date sugar. It just, the apples also with the Honeycrisp apple, you can use any kind of apple that you want, but everything works synergistically together and gives it that perfect balance. So you really can taste the nourishment in it. You know, it's real, natural energy, not a sugar rush, not a sugar crash, just clean and very steady fuel for your morning. So as I wrap things up, I just want to talk quickly about the apple cinnamon gel again. You've got your minerals and your energy and your immune support. Then with the apples, you've got your fiber and your heart health. Excuse me, I got a little piece of the muffin stuck in my throat. With the cinnamon, you've got your blood sugar balance. With the bananas, you've got your potassium and your digestive support. So there you have it. You've got healthy fall breakfast baking, and you've got your cozy muffins, you've got your mineral boost, you've got your morning glow, and you are ready to take on the day. And that's all thanks to the goodness of true sea moss apple cinnamon flavored gel. So if you are ready to start your fall wellness journey, everything that I've used, the sea moss gel, all you have to do is click in the link in the description. That will take you directly to the Amazon sea moss page, and you can get any of these gels that you love. But go ahead and start your wellness journey. This is your sign. You can grab your sea moss apple cinnamon gel right now in the link below, and you can start fueling your body with clean, delicious, nutrient-dense, whole food source amazingness, okay? So before I go, if you loved today's live stream and you want to see more healthy recipes, let me know what you want to see next, and then like this live stream and follow True Sea Moss page. Maybe we'll do something next time with chocolate in it. You never know, all right? So every time, it comes around for fall, we end up being together more, right? The food brings us together. So there's a lot more laughing, there's a lot more baking. And really, when you're with those that you love, it just reminds me that wellness does not have to be complicated, but it is extremely important, all right? It's found in the little things that we do with love and with intention. So let's intentionally swap out those nasty ingredients for clean versions, okay? So it's in choosing clean ingredients that honor our bodies. It's taking them to a next level. It's slowing down and taking time to breathe and nourish ourselves, but from the inside out, okay? And it's really just showing up, just like you did today, to learn, to grow, to try new things, to pour back into your own health, to prioritize your own health, my friends. Sea moss is not just a product. I've been on this stuff for 10 minutes, and it has 10 months. I'm sorry. Definitely not 10 minutes. I just looked at my time. I have 10 minutes left. That's where my brain is. So it is most definitely a lifestyle, okay? It has become kind of a reconnection to what my body needs, to nature and to balance and to the energy that I have missed for a long time. So Hopefully, as you go about the rest of your week, I hope that you remember this. You deserve to feel better. You deserve to feel good. You deserve better energy that lasts. You deserve to glow from the inside out. And sometimes, I'm sure, as we know, you've heard, it starts with something as simple as whole food ingredients. And in this case, it's starting with a warm, delicious muffin made with love, made with clean ingredients, and a spoonful of true sea moss gel. All right, friends, thank you so much. I am going to wrap this up, and then I'm going to go eat the rest of my muffin and start my day the right way, okay? So thank you for sharing your kitchens with me, your hearts, and your wellness journey. We are all on this wellness journey together. So until next time, I want you to stay cozy. I want you to stay grounded and take your sea moss, because every choice that you make towards better health, the choice you make to prioritize your health, it's going to just make you happier and stronger, a happier and stronger version of yourself. So I will see everyone on the next one. Have the best day, my friends. Bye-bye. Really good.